Okay. So, welcome to Helpdesk Hangouts. We have a very unique type of hangout this week. We're not going to be doing a usual thing. We're going to be doing something different. Josh pitched an idea, which I thought was amazing. So, Josh, go ahead and take it away. Lead the whole thing. Introductions, all of it.
Sure. Hi, guys. Welcome to Helpdesk Hangouts, where marketing and SEO experts help webmasters come up with how to better rank their site, how to better market their site, and how to better build their site. This week, our special Halloween Helpdesk Hangout, we're going to be doing viral marketing ideas or killer content ideas. Everyone says you have to make good content, but the question is, well, what exactly is good content, and how do you come up with it? And we found that the biggest block into making good content is the creative block. It's the piece where you come up with the creative ideas. Because making the content is not a problem. It's coming up with the ideas for the content is where you have to spend the most time and have the best process. So, Max lets me guest host this week. I'm joined also by my wonderful business partner and wife, Melissa. Say hi, Melissa.
Hi.
And when I say joined, I mean I dragged her in here, kicking and screaming. So this is what we do every day. We do SEO and we do viral marketing ideas. And so I thought it'd be great if we could get some example sites and give them some ideas for killer content. So here's how the process is going to work. Some people have been nice enough to submit their sites, and they've also come up with some of their demographic information. What the panel is going to do is we're going to look at that demographic information, and we're going to look at their sites, and we're going to come up with all the positive, creative ideas we can think of that they can market themselves. And we're going to do it along these 5 categories. It's very important to think of these 5 categories. 1, content that is funny or zany. 2, content that is controversial. 3, content that is emotion-provoking. 4, content that is interesting. And 5, content that is useful. So again, it's funny, controversial, emotion-provoking, interesting, or useful. And that's the kind of content they want to put on their site, because that's the kind of content that scientific studies show is going to get shared the most, right? We could put all kind of content on their site, but if it doesn't get shared, if nobody links to it, then we're completely missed the entire purpose. So also, Kevin wanted me to mention something which I thought was a very good idea, is that naturally, of course, through this process, you have to have the buy-in of the entire organization. And it's one thing for the crazy SEO people to suggest controversial content, but obviously the site owners have to be able to buy into that. So we have to tailor all of our suggestions against the target demographic and the brand for that particular business. And of course, the idea is that we have to make it as share-worthy as possible. So personally, I would lean on the side of pushing the limit, right? Content that doesn't push the limit is probably not going to get shared. Content that pushes the limit while still remaining in the brand is the content that is going to get shared. And finally, for this process, I just want to mention that it's very important to have a positive creative brainstorming process. Again, scientific studies have shown that the creative part of the brain literally shuts down. It stops functioning the more negative reinforcement you add to somebody. And so for this, now this is going to be difficult for this panel, who's often very sarcastic. Yes, Barry, so it's not ethical. He just typed in the chat. So I'm going to try, although it'd be like herding cats, but I'm going to try to keep this panel on topic, and all the suggestions have to be positive suggestions. No negative suggestions, because that would be counterintuitive to the process. And yes, Kevin will use his lightsaber and cut them. He will cut you if you make a negative comment. Okay, so that's the idea. So the first URL is going to be in the Q&A here.
Well, let's do introductions first.
So Matt, if you could fire up the Q&A, we can look at it all together.
Sure, and let's do introductions as well.
Oh, sure. If you guys want to introduce yourself, and I'll just do a little bit more research on the sites.
So I'll go first. My name's Matt Storms. I live in San Jose, and I'm the guy behind this whole thing. Thanks for joining today. If you have not subscribed to us on YouTube, please do such. That way, in case you do miss a Hangout, you can always just get it right in your inbox, and you can watch it later at your leisure. All right. Wassam.
them then out of Daytona Beach, Florida, co-founder of Growth Gate, and that's about it.
Okay. And William?
William Rock, rising star in the Webmaster forums group. If you haven't been there, please visit for help. Sorry, dogs. Gotta love that, right? Visit us on the help forums if you need any additional assistance on your web design stuff, SEO, whatever we're talking about today. Love the topic, by the way.
Kevin.
I'm Kevin Mullet, and I find your lack of optimized content disturbing. And I do SEO, social, search, blah, 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 stuff like that.
Sweet. And Danny?
Hi, everybody. I'm Danny, and I'm just curious about SEO.
Sweet. And we'll save, I don't know, maybe the worst for last. Barry.
Oh, me? I'm just reading the news. Some Canadian news here and there about Google. I don't know. I'm not a rising star.
I read some good news about Google yesterday in Canada being sued because of a Street View person. I thought that was quite humorous.
Which story?
Huh?
Which story?
I'll send it to you here momentito. And maybe between these coming up with great brainstorming ideas, that way it'll give Josh a little bit of time to start looking at the next site. We can cover a little bit of news. Josh is okay with that. All right, Josh, you got you seeing the Q&A stuff pulled up?
Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at cardsreview.com. I haven't had a chance to look at these sites yet. So hopefully they're not sites that we shouldn't be looking at, or they're appropriate for the Hangout. Okay, great. So this site, cardsreview.com, is a site that apparently is all about trading cards, stickers, albums, and trading cards, guides, and reviews. So they've already got content on their site that they're promoting, and it looks mostly like sports cards for the most part, that kind of a thing. So also they mentioned they didn't mention their target demographic other than it's typically age 35 to 45 or 28 to 34. In sports fans, soccer fans, movie lovers, and technophiles. So because they're also soccer fans, I presume it's going to be UK-based as well. So we got probably male, 28 to 44, probably in the UK for this site. So with that in mind, we can start just round robining the ideas for whatever kind of content we can come up with for these guys. So obviously the first thing that comes off of my head is that if they have pictures of the cards, if they have pictures of the information, then they obviously should be sharing that as much as possible. That would be a no-brainer right there, is if they have any pictures in the collector's case, they can take pictures of them and they can talk about the stats of the cards, and also the stats not only about the card, but about what's on the card. Obviously, another thing that they could try to do is if they have any cards for any particular kind of sports team or whatever. Obviously, the more professional teams may or may not respond, but obviously they should hit up those sports teams. They should say, "Look, I got these pictures of these awesome cards with these awesome stars," you know, and then hit up their Twitter account and hit up their Facebook pages, and hopefully they'll get them to retweet or repost about the card that's come out. What else? What can you guys think of?
I think this guy has actually did some decent job. You know, like the guide to determine the card value. This is really, you know, added value to the people who owns these cards, and if they're thinking of reselling it. But I think the problem with him is the amplification. I mean, he provide content, but it's not, you know, he needs probably spend a little bit of money to amplify it, to show it to these people, and he can use, you know, Facebook, and he knows that target market he goes after. He knows what kind of affinities these people are interested in, so he targets that certain people using these, you know, this specific guide. He target them and shove it in their face, and he might get better value out of it.
I would agree that he's done a decent job. I mean, he's getting part of it down, which is my interpretation, or what I usually say, which is similar to what Josh was talking about. Is I always say, you want to solve people's problems, you want to answer their questions, and you want to attempt to entertain them while doing so. Well, it looks like he's attempting to solve answer their questions and solve their problems. He's got some articles on here that talk about how do you value your cards. I think that's great. I think that if we could get him to implement some more content that has a higher likelihood of going viral.
Right.
So in other words,
so let's come up with ideas. Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah,
so let's come up with ideas to do that, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what.
Let's say what's wrong. Let's say what you could do right.
That's what I'm going to tell you.
I have an idea.
Hang on. That's what I'm going to tell you is, if he did infographics, okay, I think he should really strongly look at infographics. I think that he should be looking at increasing and leveraging his social accounts with user-generated content. What kind of cards does the community have? Because I'd really like to see him pull the community in more, and he can do that through UGC and contests. And then the other thing that I think that he could really trump on is more video content. So I would have him look into, on his Facebook page and on his Pinterest page, getting into more of the video and the UGC, creating a board that other people can contribute to, rather than just boards that he himself contributes to.
Right, very good. Yeah, so that's great. So user-generated content, obviously. What is everyone else collecting? What are their collections? Show me pictures of your collections. Show me videos of you with your collections. They could have a contest for the best collection. There could obviously be some kind of prize for the best collection.
And because what's going to happen is those people who get selected to be featured each week and so forth are going to share the heck out of the fact that they were featured and chosen, and that really creates this viral effect.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. So, and not only that, but here's another thing that businesses have to understand is that not only do you have to be your business, you kind of have to be a magazine at the same time. And that magazine content, it should be centered around your business, but it doesn't have to just be about your business. And so we can go a little bit further afield as well. So if the target, let's say the target demographic is what I guessed, is it's UK males from 25 to 38, then obviously we can do more UK-based news and UK-based interest, general interest as well. As long as it's sport-related and or collectibles-related, you should probably be fine, right? Also, Matt, you had an idea.
Yeah, I was going to say that if users are now this is down the road to UGC type stuff, but if users were uploading, taking pictures of each of their cards or stickers or whatever, and they're uploading those, and then they're writing content about that, but then they do a contest where they say, like rate it, like, kind of like maybe like, I know this is going to be really way out there, like a hot or not type thing, but for the stickers to say, oh, is this cool or is this bad?
Yeah, that's great. That's not way out there. This is perfect. This is the creative thing is all about. It doesn't matter how way out there the idea sounds.
So then you rate it like 1 to 10, and so then you get like a 1 to 10 rating of how cool your stuff is, and then the webmaster, he could say, oh, like this is the highest rated today, and then so that stuff gets up there, and then he could build out like top lists of like top 20 of this and top 10 of this, and build out lists and things, and kind of go down the BuzzFeed, stumble upon type route of building out generated lists and things like that.
Oh, that's perfect. That's social. That's called social gamification, right?
Oh yeah, it is.
Allocating points or a metric to determine worth, that's gamification. And then if you add in the social component of that, then that's social gamification, where you can just press a single button to tweet that to everyone, or press a single button to share that with everyone, all the points and who won that day, or whether you won that day, or whatnot. So that's golden. That's perfect. Melissa, did you have an idea?
I was thinking, going around, we've done this before, is given it's a younger male audience, doing some kind of hot girl pin-up-y kind of thing with the cards or the teams or something along that line that would get social shares that way as well.
Yeah, and going to Matt's point, I would also say that in the interim, if you leverage other communities that already have visibility as well. So, for example, one that's not as often talked about would be like Listly. So if you're going to be creating those lists of cards, you could start that process over on Listly and then use their plugin to embed that on your site. But then you're inviting people to participate, and you're leveraging a community that is already there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's all right. And going off that's very, very good. And going off of Melissa's point as well, yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the brand, like if they want to be, what kind of brand they want to be. But if they're, it seems to fit the demographic to me, males 25 to 38, pictures of pretty women holding cards of the collectibles or somehow working in pretty women to the cards of collectibles, a calendar, a girl of the month holding a collectible, that's going to be shared, right? So, and that could get links. You can get even further than that, is that you can do like a video series where there's female hosts or nice hosts or charming hosts, it could be female, and then they're talking about the collectibles or what the collectibles are hot this week. So it all depends on the people call it linkable assets. I call it your braggable assets, your share-worthy assets. Are you charming? Are you charismatic? Are you good-looking? Do you know anybody who is? Do you have good access to that kind of stuff? That's the kind of way that you can get the synergy of making content cheaply and effectively that is also maximally share-worthy. If you're a very good-looking person, then why the heck aren't you on your website with pictures and if you're as good-looking as Barry, for example, why aren't you on the website, or Matt, why aren't you on all these people, why aren't you on the website with pictures of yourself? Or if you're very charming or very eloquent like Kevin is, for example, why aren't you on the website with a podcast talking about the latest collectibles that are coming out and that kind of thing? So you need to leverage whatever it is you've got. What other ideas can we come up for this? We've got like just a couple minutes left for this one website. Can we come up with any more? These are all great ideas. Very excited about these ideas. Can we come up with any more ideas for this particular website? You could do editorials, but I don't know what you could really say about cards in terms of editorials. You can talk about the history of this cards, the history of the prices of the cards, what cards are sold for the most, what cards are sold for the least, what vertical of cards sells the most or sells the least.
Yeah, I think what you can do is be the leader that sets the price in a way. Like, if I want to sell my card, I will go to this site because it's the marketplace.
Yeah.
It's a well-known. So having something like that, it's definitely, he needs to build it way more, and he needs to spend that money.
Yeah, and I think that he could step outside of his comfort zone, and this is something that a lot of people don't like to do. But I think he could also turn his site into the resource of finding other people that are talking about the same subject. And I know that's really scary for web owners to do that, because they're like, oh my gosh, people are going to leave me and go to my competitors or whatever. No. They're going to keep coming back to you because you're willing to provide data that nobody else is.
Right, and that's another common theme is you want to be the site, right? If there's any site that has the information about topic XYZ, you want to be the site where everyone's talking about it, everyone goes on there to look at the facts, everyone goes on there to check out what's going on. Kind of like what Matt Storms has done here for Helpdesk Hangouts, or what Barry has done for SE Roundtable. Barry's site is, other than Search Engine Land, which he also posts on, SE Roundtable is essentially the site for SEO. The site for ethical commentary on SEO, of course, is my site. So I thought I'd put that plug in there.
One other suggestion is that I think that, again, going back to the point, you don't like to give this kind of stuff away and so forth, but you really got to put stuff out there that is talking about everything related to that industry, whether that's somebody else's stuff, whether that's your stuff. Become that resource, and then also invite other people in and send people out. So, I mean, I just think that's really important.
That's perfect. Okay, so Matt, let's go to the next site then.
Simply-bags.com.
Simply-bags. Okay. Well, it's about bags. I think it sells handbags. Let me see.
Either handbags, maybe it could be plastic trash bags, because we're not allowed to have those.
No. Yeah, so they sell handbags. They sell men's duffel bags, lunch bags, personalized kids bags, personalized cosmetic bags, custom bags, sports bags, tote bags, purses, laptop bags. Essentially, they sell it all.
This is actually really nice stuff.
Yeah.
They have nice stuff on there, yeah.
So let's ask the real quick question then. Since I'm gonna maybe put the only woman in the Hangout on the spot, Melissa, would you buy bags like these?
Let's look at the site again here.
Yep. Josh can attest that I have far too many bags, shoes, and other things in the house, potentially. Yeah, I'm just looking quickly through. Definitely having commentary more on different fashion, what's going on lately, benefits to customizing your bags, personalization. Cosmetic bags are huge. Travel articles, because a lot of them are used for travel, so stuff on traveling with bags, packing, all that kind of thing. Definitely women need secrets, like how to pack a bra properly so you don't crush the cups. Those kind of articles.
Useful. Yeah, no, great. I like their design. So let's come up with some creative ideas. All good, positive ideas. Let's just round robin it. Obviously, they have tons of pictures on their site already. So they've got the pictures. If they're not tied into Pinterest, they should be. If they're not tied into Instagram, they should be. Immediately, on Twitter, for that matter, Facebook. There's pictures of their beautiful bags should go everywhere. So obviously, a high product-driven site like this with pretty-looking products should go all over the place. Not only that, but it looks to me like they want to. Their demographic is not only female but male, and not only young but old, not only students but workers. They essentially have the full gamut of the demographic. So they would have to decide as a company, obviously, who they would want to target. If they want to do a specific campaign for females or a specific campaign for college students, they'd have to decide that ahead of time. So if you want to bring your suggestions along those lines, we can do that. Or if you just want to make general suggestions, we can do that. But as I said, they should definitely be sending it out to Pinterest and all those. So then the contest idea. So they should definitely be having a contest for the best-looking bags, the most useful bags, the bags that people like the most. And the people who vote in the contest, obviously, should get some bags as some kind of a prize.
On social, the big thing, of course, is always to vote for your favorite bag and post it on use it as an avatar or replace it that way, and then they pick one person to win that one bag they like the most.
I think they did something pretty cool. Let me share that with you guys. Where if you go to a specific product and there's a tab called giveaway. And so you get a point for following Twitter, point for liking the Facebook, Google+, Pin to Win, tweet. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's definitely very cool. In my opinion, they should change that to a share. So you give...
Yeah, I mean, it's
plus
something.
ones and likes are not as great. I think shares would have better SEO value, personally.
It's something. It's an engagement, right?
True.
Right?
Better than
So
nothing. Yeah.
So
That's
one
great.
thing I'd like to point out real fast, and I'm not trying to be negative at all, okay? And I think they should use Facebook more. I just looked. They wrote a post July 1st, and then they wrote another post September 26th. There's too much of a span. They need to be doing more there to get users to interact with them, I think.
You're absolutely
Well, so let's go back to a positive, and that is one thing that I wanted to bring up, which is, and this goes for the cards, this goes for them. It is critically important that companies look at the content opportunity. Now, I am not just saying this because we built a little tool. It's a free tool. It is completely separate from our business model. I'm telling you this because we've struggled with this for years. The customers don't have an idea what kind of content they should produce, like Josh had said. So first you have to have the idea, and then you have to have the buy-in to do the resources. So we came up with something we call a content opportunity report. What these companies should be doing is mapping out, this is a day I'm going to have a release of a new product. This is a Halloween or something that relates to our brand. Hey, the baseball season starts now, so we're going to have a special post about our cards as it relates to that. And what you do is you map out the content that is an opportunity, so you see that all in one timeline, and then you can say, well, what kind of type of content that I'm going to do? And you can go to contentopportunityreport.com to download it. It's free. It's not related to our business. But then you can say, well, I want this to be an infographic and a blog. I want this to be, you know, etc. And then somebody can approve it, and you can allocate resources to it. But what that really does is that precedes an editorial calendar, because the editorial calendar is for things that you've already agreed you're going to do. This is about creating ideas around what you could do. So I really think that they could be doing that to leverage seasons and so forth.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We do the same thing. Every viral marketing agency has to do that, either help their clients do that, or they need to do that as well. Okay, so let's really get into more creative ideas we can think of.
Going off that monthly thing, one thing.
What if users, when they got their bag, they're able to take a picture of them with their bag, and then they share it, and they're entered for a contest, or they, users with their bags, the bags they love and things like that. I think there's a huge opportunity. And then, where is the bag today? So they could do a thing of like, oh, so you're on vacation and you happen to be in Russia, or you happen to be in New York City, or in LA, or in Tokyo, or whatever, and now you're taking a picture of yourself with the bag, so you're doing a selfie, and then the company can take and put that picture up with that bag, and it's going to generate more stuff, and it's going to generate more buzz, because the user is going to be sharing that stuff. So there's some gamification in there. I think you could put in there as well.
The where the bag is a great one. There was a simple magazine that used to do that, where they would say, hold up an issue wherever you're at. And I mean, how perfect would that be with selfies and bags? That's gold.
Yeah, where is your bag is good. You can also do what's in your bag. You could show little puppies in the bag, kittens in the bag, whatever's in your bag, what's in your bag, a contest for that, and of course you share that and they reshare.
Yeah, I think that's the same. That's the same as the campaign of the turtle wax campaign, if you know it. Yeah. Where basically start applying turtle wax, and they take picture through their reflecting their face, and some big celebrities start using it and doing it, and that's how they picked up a little bit. So I think, but concerning this website, it's fashion. So fashion in association with celebrity, or associated with any celebrity type of, what they call it, even shows, like Today shows or whatever it is, because these are custom or personalized. Send couple. I mean, they do it in-house probably, so send couple for a specific Today show for their names and all that, and give them 2 minutes of fame.
That's what I was going to mention. Thank you, Wissam. Is sending your bags to celebrities, even local celebrities, your local news celebrities, any kind of person who's active on Twitter or social media, or charities, sending your bags to charities. Find a way you could do bags for cancer or something, or bags for breast cancer. I don't know, something. Bags for some kind of charity, and then they'll share it back, or if you could even get your local news involved, and then it'll be on the local news as well. Melissa, you had an idea.
That's going off that every month there's a disease featured. For instance, Movember starts tomorrow, so having particularly focused on the male type style of bag, or if they have that handlebar mustache pattern that's popular right now. Last month was breast cancer month, so the pink bags and that kind of thing. Focusing on every month tends to have a featured illness and stuff, and then you can work with a charity.
I think if they have like a small shop where everything can be controlled, not a huge supply chain management does anything. But if they're small, they can be a little bit creative with their packaging and delivering. So let's say it's a packaging for a woman, throw a mustache, and this is a gift for her husband or her boyfriend, whatever it is, concerning the month of November, for example, right? Throw a mustache or something related that basically they will take a picture, share it, or do something about it.
Put a mustache on the bags?
Yeah.
Put a mustache on the bags, yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen some of the bags where they have very creative stuff on the side, so that when you're holding it, looks like a guy's got an open mouth and you're holding them by the. I don't think that really fits for their particular one, but one I'll piggyback on here is the Oscars. There's about $80,000 worth of stuff that goes into an Oscars swag bag, and a couple years ago there was a gentleman that was a complete basic unknown, and he got his stuff into the swag bag and had a huge amount of exposure over it. And it was funny because people just didn't have the audacity to think that they could put their stuff in that bag, but really the academy just wants stuff to lure those people in. So at least back then you could actually get your stuff in there basically for the price of the merchandise and a little bit aside. So that could be a huge game changer.
I have a friend who did that 2 years ago, and it worked well for her company. I had another idea, too, going back to the what's in my bag related to delivery. You could get different things. One of the places I buy from often puts strange little things in the boxes of shoes, so like plastic dinosaurs or noisemakers or something. So you could have this photo contest of what was in your bag when it was delivered and focus on that creativity.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Oh, and then if you could do, how many of you guys have done Woot? If you could do like a one-day deal, like where you have to be paying attention and tell them like over the next week we're going to have at a random hour we're going to have some deals or whatever. You always have to be kind of careful with deals, but you could do that where essentially you could sell out of something like that because Woot used to do what was called a random bag of crap, and people would immediately go in there. I mean, the server would almost go down because people would be sitting there trying to hit refresh to get their order in, and so anyway, so they could play off of something like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. In fact, Melissa has a play on that.
I was just thinking, going off the Willy Wonka golden ticket type idea would be the same thing.
So yeah, put a golden ticket in one of the bags and then send them out. You do like a promo for that. People go crazy for that. I don't know what the golden ticket would get you, but there's many more great ideas in the chat here. I was siphoning through all of Barry's sarcastic and inappropriate ones. So you could do a video series in the bags, hot people in the bags. You could have again, depending on the demographic, if it's appropriate for this, but you could have naked models where just the bag is just covering them, and so they're promoting the bag. It's very easy to get good-looking naked people. College
naked people.
Or good-looking people, period. It's very easy to get them. They're a dime a dozen. They're extremely cheap. You go to your local college theater department, and or models, aspiring models. You can get these people a photo shoot. Just take 2,000 pics. You're going to get something good.
Remember to get a release.
Yes, of course. You need a release. You need to do all these things, of course. We're just coming up with the ideas. There was a couple more in here. William came up with a great one, custom embroidered bags. Having some kind of bags that be custom embroidered. You can do bags that transform. This is getting a little bit out of the demographic, but bags that could be like a purse that transforms into like a laptop bag that you can unfold it and fold it that transforms into like, whatever, another different type of bag. So you can have the bag, just like you have reversible pants that are casual and fancy, you could have a reversible bag that is good enough to go to the coffee shop, or you can change it around and it's good enough to go to dinner.
And I think that we got to be careful about them changing their product line. So we do have to be, obviously there's a bunch of research that goes into that. Great ideas. One thing that they can do with their existing stuff is they can piggyback off of and newsjack carefully. Newsjack off of things. So going back to the content opportunity is if Apple's coming out with something on a given day and you have a purse that has a special pocket that is sized so it will fit for the new iPhones or something like that, you could schedule content to be released at that time. It's more likely to get picked up and add to the voice than if you just don't leverage that opportunity.
Oh, you and what cannot be done, Kevin. You and what cannot be done. Okay.
Next one.
So we should probably move on to the next site then.
So this is one actually I'm really excited. I've been looking at their site for a few minutes. I've got some crazy, really weird ideas, but I think that we would all get a good fun time out of it. It's called AMP Film. FILM Studios.com. It is a film studio.
AMP Film Studios. Yeah, look at that. Okay, it's a film studio.
And they do all kinds of
ideas now.
Social video production, corporate video, interactive web, music, medical, sports TV, television, post-production services.
Nice.
it's really quite unique. I mean, they got a lot of stuff that they do. They do fighting things. So they do a lot of documentaries, things like that. So there's a lot of stuff in here. So yeah, I'd love to see what everybody else thinks about this. Not something I work
if you
on.
have some ideas, Matt, please start us off.
So I think it would be kind of cool to invite students, college or high school students, to come in and see how stuff is done, because those kids are going to talk about it more than anybody else. Kids love to brag, and they love to hype stuff up. And when you can say to those kids, hey, we're going to run a contest, you got to come in, and we're going to do this, and maybe like over the summertime you set up like a week-long like camp for 10 kids or something, and you just say, hey, we're going to show you how to make a short 10-minute video, and we're going to show you how to edit it and things like that, and we're going to make a 10-minute film. And I think you could shoot a film in 2 days and then show them how to edit it and have something decent, not great, just decent, up, and then those kids are going to brag about it, and they're going to promote the crap out of it themselves. And then you're doing all that stuff. They're talking about it while they're filming it, and you tell them, hey, post all your social media networks while we're doing this stuff. Talk about it, brag about it. You're here. You're one of the invited people, and I think that's a great thing to do. I think that's
great. In fact, I'll one up you. I'll one up you on that, Matt. Try and do it for charities.
Yep.
Or try and do it for celebrity kids. People, there's a picture of John Travolta on their website. They must have some connections. So try and you could even do a reality show out of it. Summer camp for celebrity kids, right? The celebrities would pump it like crazy. They get rid of their kids for the summer. They can go to Milan or wherever they go, And these people obviously have the resources to make video very easily. So most of the ideas could be video. Obviously, leveraging their existing projects, they seem to be trying to do that on their website. They might be able to do that a little bit better after talking with one of us. Leveraging their existing content would be a good idea, and their existing projects. And obviously, hit up any celebrities or hit up any charities that are in those projects already. That's a no-brainer.
I would really like to see them go after positioning themselves as experts within this space. I don't see a lot of I don't see a blog, and so therefore by proxy I don't see a lot of content that is around solving other people's problems.
What kind of content should they put on their blog?
Solve problems, answer questions. How do I edit my video? Because that people are, once they try to edit their own video, they're going to realize the cost that it is to go get the software. Yeah. They're going to realize how much time it takes, and they're going to say, I don't want to do this. But you have to pretend like you're going to go ahead and help them do it. And then you talk about that process. You talk about B-roll. There's a great viral video out there that's called it's something about B-roll. I'll have to try and find it, but it's a viral video that just talks about B-roll. So put a list together that says this is the type of shots that you do. Put together a storyboard thing for them and explain going through a storyboard process. I need this opening. I need this closing. I need this B-roll. I need this. Solve people's problems and answer their questions, and more times than not, they're going to end up having you do it anyway because it's way too time-consuming.
Yeah. So how-tos, great. This is very, very good. So how-tos, obviously, how to edit video. Should you use iMovie? Should you do it on a Mac? There's tons of different kind of how-tos they can do. That would be under the useful and interesting category, definitely. Giving cameras to students, which could be factored into Matt's idea previously, or just going to colleges or going to a theater department at a college, give them cameras and say, shoot stuff, we'll make a reality show out of it, right? So whatever they shoot, you just make a documentary or reality show out of it, and every week or every month you just put it on your website and say, here's what the college students at Sacramento did, or wherever it is, right? And then you can even have competing colleges who can have the better reality shows, so to speak, because apparently, they obviously have video editing capabilities. That might not be too expensive for them to do.
I mean, I'd also encourage them to look at, again, we talked about earlier about leveraging other existing platforms. It does look like they are doing some of that. I think I would try and get some of their, as we're creating some of this content that's applicable, get it on a site like dam.com, I think it is, which is where you submit your work, and it has a high level of virality content on it. So I think I would try and leverage some of those other.
Yeah, they could. That's good. That's very good. They could even get into camera enthusiasts. They could talk about cameras, the specifications on cameras. They could go that route too if they want it, and kind of have like a sub site for cameras and for all the camera enthusiast stuff as well. Any kind of project they make, any kind of documentary they make, they could have a complete, almost like a book or a website backing it up and talking about it, right? Like the meta documentary. So there's the documentary and there's the making of, right? Of the documentary. And then they could have that in editorial, that could be a video content, that could be a podcast content, that could be an infographic, how to make a documentary.
Webinars. We haven't even said one webinar, and holy Toledo, what are we missing? Like for this group, it's perfect. Maybe not so much like for the cards and the purse, but for these guys, webinar is money.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. Webinars would be perfect. You get people coming in, and then that would create a creative community that more content would be generated out of, right? It's almost like having a virtual class. You could have a free class, and it could be a webinar, or you could do it at a local college, where people could come in for free and learn videography and learn how to make this content. And again, that's how you make your reality show. That's how you get your weekly content out of it. Is look what John made, look what Ann made, that kind of a thing.
And and then they can bring in people from like the local. I mean, they're located in Tampa, Florida, so they could bring in people that from the local community, and they could do a nonprofit side to their business to really drive their business, and then the nonprofit can help drive the commercial side.
Okay, they're from Tampa. Okay, Tampa is, I know Tampa really well. I don't know how far away they are from like the St. Pete area, from the beaches and so forth like that. They have absolutely gorgeous sunsets. They could do nothing more than just have one piece of content that is all about sunsets and so forth like that. That is just something that is really viral. And I think that some people, they just forget about the assets that they have like that are close to them that they could leverage. If you're in Colorado, you have skiing and snow skiing, and you could just go out and do something that speaks to that and is showing that you're valuable, showing what you can do.
Yeah, that's great. And now that I know they're in Tampa, then there's a bunch of more ideas that they could do, right? So, of course, spring break. They can always leverage spring break, tales of spring break, like a documentary Jersey Shore. People would share the crap out of that. They could make a business out of that alone. And then also, I don't know, it was a few years ago, I don't know if you guys ever saw this. Did you ever see there was a monthly web series that was being filmed guerrilla style in IKEA? Did you guys? IKEA Heights. Did you guys ever see this? They could do the same thing at Disney or something close to Tampa, right? They could do Tales of Disney, and it could be a documentary. Yeah, it could be a documentary, or they could hire actors and do a mockumentary of like a drama of someone cheating on someone, and then Mickey gets involved in Disney, right? And then they just go guerrilla film it in Disney. That'd be a little expensive because Disney is expensive, but fine, do it in the parking lot. Yeah, Cinderella story. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, William called it Cinderella story. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, these are all very good ideas, guys. What else can we come up with for these guys?
There's a annual sandcastle event. They should be covering that. I mean, again, that's just, you're leveraging other people's efforts. And you're not having to build the sandcastles and everything. You're there to comment on it and show what you could do with that.
Oh yeah, you just show up. I mean, if I'm getting this company right in my head, and they have videographers who know what they're doing, these people should be filming their lives daily, right? Just film it. You see something cool, film it. Buy them all Google Glass, right? And so they can just go like this and start filming, and then you just compile it at the end of the day. You mark what's cool. You compile that. You have ongoing video content that people love to watch and share, and people will link to like crazy.
And I think you bring up another point, which is, so let's say, for example, that they're concerned, oh, I don't have a RED camera. There's a very expensive camera called a RED camera, and so they don't have that. I mean, that's super high-end stuff. Well, what can you shoot with your video phone? I think a lot of people are concerned that they can't get enough quality. Look, with these new phones, you can shoot, some of these phones shoot 4K. So take people through the process of not spending a ton of money. Show them how to do it on the cheap. How do you get good photography and good videos with your camera phone. It can be done.
Yeah, tutorials on that definitely be a good idea. So Barry and Danny, put you on the spot a bit. Did you guys have any creative suggestions? Yeah, you. Did you guys have any creative suggestions, any creative ideas any of these sites can do?
I've been just listening and absorbing everything, all really good advice that you're giving to these webmasters. It's really hard. I appreciate what these people are going through. It's really hard to create buzz and generate content because it's time-consuming. It's effort-consuming. These people are simultaneously trying to run their businesses and create content. And not to mention, you have so much competition from other places. And when I think about a video production company, I instantly think business to business. And so who are their clients? It's not really consumers, it's businesses, correct me if I'm wrong, it's businesses that use their services. Businesses don't, in my experience, haven't succeeded with social media when it's business to business because businesses don't really interact that much on social, whereas consumers are more so engaging with brands and talking about brands and engaging with the brands. They haven't had it. So a corporate company like the video production company, their most lucrative deals are going to be with corporate clients who are shooting video for advertising, or they're shooting video just to have.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Danny, can I interject for a second? But that's the good thing. That's not a problem. That's a good thing. This is where the magic happens. Think of Wired Magazine. Wired Magazine doesn't make their magazine for other businesses. They make their magazine for people. But other businesses advertise in Wired Magazine, right? So this video production company, they can make all the marketing materials. Businesses are composed of people. And so the people in businesses are going to like their stuff, and then they're going to make purchases, right? So that for this company, it works perfectly fine. I understand what you mean. For some companies that sell like steel sprockets, it gets more difficult for marketing for that kind of a company when it's a clear B2B company, very boring with nothing in there. But then I go back to what Danny Sullivan suggested at SMX West this year. There was a rubber a company that made rubber fixtures and rubber materials at the conference, and he said, I don't know how to market myself. I don't know what to do. And Danny Sullivan, in 3 seconds flat, came up with this idea. He said, can you mold anything in rubber, even from a picture? They're like, yeah. He said, the Ellen selfie from the Oscars? He's like, yeah, mold that. Boom, done, right? So this is where the magic comes in. It's the problem with viral marketing is not creating the content. The problem with viral marketing is having a creative process to just come up with the ideas. No matter how crazy they sound, no matter how zany they sound, come up with all the ideas. Get 5 pages of ideas like we do sometimes when we do these brainstorm sessions. And then afterwards, then you go, now that you have the ideas, then you go, okay, I can do this cheaply by doing this. I can do this one cheaply by doing that. I can do this one free by doing this. And then you start, once you have the ideas, then you can make them cost effective. But you cannot make nothing cost effective. You can't make, I don't know, cost effective. I don't know is not cost effective. In fact, it's cost ineffective. It'll cause you to go out of business because you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter if you want to do this or not. Your competition is going to do this, and so it's not he who is smart wins or he who is strong wins, but he or she who is creative. They're the ones who are going to win.
Just want to comment here real quick. It also comes down to people who are willing to. Because there are a lot of people who just they don't have the will to put themselves on camera, and you have to have. There's tons of people that are smart like us that are not willing to come be on this Hangout. So you have to be willing to show up and do the work. The other thing is if you're saying, well, you can't do it because it's B2B, then I tell you about companies like Will It Blend. Will It Blend makes blenders that are industrial blenders. They're not for your normal consumers. And what do? If you go to willitblend.com, they take a brand new iPhone and they see if it blends up in their blenders, because they're trying to prove the point that these things are indestructible. And that's a B2B statement. That's not a B2C statement. The other thing that I'll say is far too many people fall into this trap of trying to make every single piece of content they produce go viral. That's not going to happen. You could have the most epic piece in the world, and it doesn't hit the right person, and that's a whole nother conversation. So what you have to do is you have to create a group of content, and you have to position yourself so that group of content, that something has the likelihood to go viral in that piece. If you're putting out all crap content, then it's highly unlikely that any of it is going to go viral. If you put out really good content consistently, something is going to hit, and then once it hits, more of the content will go viral.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we should move on to the last site then, just to make sure we get some ideas for them. They're called Blue Line Media. This one was sent to me personally by a person named Danny. I'm not sure if there's the same Danny in here or it's a different Danny.
It's me.
Hey, Danny. How do you doing? Can you tell us who your target demographic is?
So this is a business-to-business site. This is outdoor advertising. We're an outdoor advertising agency, so we place outdoor advertising for clients across the country. Outdoor advertising is comprised of billboards, buses, bus shelters, mall, airports, coffee sleeves, taxi tops, shopping carts. You can see everything on the website. Our clients are mostly medium businesses to nonprofits, government agencies. And we have, we typically request that people spend at least about $5,000 minimum per month. We have tried Facebook, Twitter, but now they're graveyards.
Okay, can I ask you this?
Shut down. We weren't able to really engage and talk to anybody. Things just came out corny and cheesy. It was just cheesy.
Okay.
It was just a lot of effort to pull posts up that didn't really have much to say.
Okay. So let me stop you right there. So you want to stay away from cheesy, you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. How
unless it's funny.
Can we get though, and how risque can we get?
As risque as you want to get.
So the naked people, we can have naked people.
I think so. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Other than nude pictures, okay, fine. I'll just temper that in my own brain as best as I can. Okay, so let's come up with some creative ideas then. Yeah, I mean, everyone has a story of how it didn't work. Let's come up with the creative ideas so that it can work. So I was thinking, what about like a Da Vinci Code style hoax on your empty billboards where you put weird clues and people have to figure out the clues and then they have to take pictures of it and share it on your site. So your site will be the portal. So it's like, almost like what's the game that Google put out?
Wait, Josh, let me stop you right there. The boards, we don't own any of the boards. We're an agency, so we place the boards. So if we have to access the boards, we have to pay for it. These boards are very expensive.
Okay, fine. So regardless,
an order of $5,000 to $10,000 each per month. In high traffic areas.
Regardless, well, marketing costs money, but so this idea might be down further in the list, but we have to get the ideas out first before we shoot them down, right? So you could do a hoax, some kind of Da Vinci Code style hoax. You could even put that almost like a QR code, but something different than that, in the billboards that other people pay for. Of course, you could have your best campaign contest. You could have a contest for the best campaigns. Once a campaign is up, you can take pictures of it and send it to the people who bought them and say, hey, look at your awesome campaign, and they can reshare that. What else? You can have innovative campaigns. You could allow people to upgrade to more innovative billboards, animated billboards, video billboards, those kinds of things. You could do airplanes with signs behind them, advertising yourself or talking about a new billboard. Check out the billboard we just put on Burbank Avenue. It's the bomb or something, or it's hilarious, and then people will notice that and be like, what's going on there? And then they will go and talk about it on your portal, anything to generate buzz. What other ideas do you guys have?
I just want to clarify here because I'm looking at this. So you guys are actually the creative agency, and you're actually selling the spaces. You're reselling other people's spaces. Is that correct, or am I missing that, Danny?
We're a placement agency.
So you don't do the creative. You don't
We do only media buying. We
So
don't do any creative.
Okay. So, you know, if you guys are in the media buying space, that makes this a lot more difficult because you are relying on other people's creative. So you have to get good about helping them be good with their creative and pushing the envelope with that. You're not selling the space, so you have to be good about how do they select the boards that are right. So you guys need to get really effective about telling people where the value is. That's the stuff that you guys have that the other people aren't going to have. Which boards should you be on? And writing content that explains that process. And you're going to think, well, I can't do that because then they'll bypass us. But no, they're going to come to you because you're the expert in that. And you're going to make sure they get good pricing. And you're going to talk about the pricing structure that you guys do. You're going to answer people's questions about all of these things that you guys get asked every single day when they walk through the door for that kickoff meeting or when they're picking at your brain. All of that stuff becomes content, and you need to solve that problem. And then the next part of that is thinking about really how you can encourage people to be more creative, pushing that envelope as to what they should be doing at a bus stop versus what they should be doing on a billboard that's 100 yards off of the side of the road, and helping them to understand tracking that. But you guys have to be able to delve into that as well.
Yeah. No, that's very good, Kevin. As per usual, brilliant, very good ideas. So yeah, statistics on what. Obviously, how-tos and editorials, you need to show how you know how to do this most effectively, and you need to leverage all your skills you have in that and show them how you need to do, show them that you know how to do that most effectively, and share a bit of that knowledge, just like we're doing here, right? The stats of what will work best, what you should do on each type, like a billboard should be this way, a bus ad should be this way, that kind of thing. Yeah, as Kevin has brought up again and again in this Hangout, making yourself a destination, making yourself the authority on knowledge is always one angle to take. I like taking more of a entertainment angle as well. If you can entertain and educate, you get better shares, right? Because it's more share-worthy. Education is good. It's somewhat share-worthy. Entertainment is good. It can fluctuate to be incredibly share-worthy or cheesy and not share-worthy at all, as you've noticed. But if you can do both or even merge them even better with hot, sexy people, then that's the Venn diagram of share craziness.
So one thing I'm going to say right now is, like, I see going through the site, like, you have a lot of advertising formats. You know, you've got all these different types of things, and you know, bus stop ads, and I've gone through a bunch of these. You have some good videos in there and things like that. Watched a couple of them. But what I would say is definitely, it doesn't seem like you guys are like the market authority. Like, you should know, like, hey, you know, how many people per capita live in Eugene, Oregon, and how many people see, you know, ads or see all those types of things. Because when I see numbers on there, that makes me go, oh, well, maybe I should advertise in this city, and I should, you know, do this and do that and this. If you guys really promote the knowledge factor of being the expert authority for all the different markets, you can get all that data and information. It's out there.
Yeah.
And just start rendering it on your site. I think that's going to really make you look like the industry leader.
Yeah.
Can I
just say one thing there, Kevin?
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of I just want to bookmark this part of the conversation. So I mean, yeah, I hear you, Danny, and I hear everybody who's emailed me about this. Is that you know, yes, it's really hard, but the problem is this: is that you can't rely on other people's creativity. Even if you can't use their creative work, you have to be creative yourself. Every business has to be self-promotional and find a way to do that. You can't be negative or creativity doesn't work either in the process or in general, right? And that goes for the execs as well, as Kevin mentioned. You have to get them on board with this. Otherwise, you know, it's just not going to work for your company. And you can't ignore it or doubt that you need to do this, or your competitors are going to surpass you. Eventually, they're going to hire someone who knows how to do this, like the people here, or they're going to figure out how to do it themselves, and they are going to bypass you. So I think, you know, it is very difficult, but I find it very positive, because wherever there's a high barrier to entry, wherever there's a difficulty, there's a huge opportunity when you get over that barrier, because there's not many people there. right? That's the beautiful thing about a high barrier to entry like SEO or like viral marketing, because it's a little finicky to figure out how to do the process properly. But once you figure it out, like SEO, or once you figure it out, like viral marketing, there's nobody there, there's hardly anybody there who can do it, who can figure it out. And then all the creative ideas you came up with, they'll just grow like weeds. They'll just go gangbusters, because there is a, why isn't every company making something as share-worthy or cool or funny as Jersey Shore, or whether you like Jersey Shore or not, or something else that everyone went crazy about and went crazy viral? Creativity. Creativity is the only barrier. So you need to start with creativity, a positive creative process, and then you find an efficient, cost-effective way to do the best ideas. You keep hammering that, and within a year, you've got thousands of links or thousands of shares and hundreds of links.
Can I just ask a question before we get off?
You got 10 seconds, because we're already moved over.
With respect to viral, if it's going viral on social media, how do you get people back to link back to your website? Do you just wait for somebody who has a blog to link back to your website? Because a lot of these consumers don't have websites themselves, so they're just sharing on social amongst themselves. They're talking about you, and maybe that is a ranking signal, maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
What percentage is social media contributing to your ranking?
I can answer this.
People who don't have the ability to link back to you to get that vote to your website, how do you get that backlink?
Oh, Danny, always with you, what cannot be done. No, social signals are a ranking signal. Shares on Google Plus and Facebook, I think, are definitely, and Twitter are definitely being watched. And what you do is yes, you're absolutely right. You have to put the awesome content on your site, make sure it's hosted on your site so that all the signals are pointed there, and then you hire someone to go on the forums and go on the blogs, and they make the posts and give you the links there, right? So if there's any industry-specific forums, you don't wait for them to find it, although if you've done a good job, they will. You go and you put it there. You say, hey guys, look at this cool thing on this site. And if you've done your homework correctly, they should love it, right? And you go on the blogs and you tweet the people, the experts in that industry. I have case studies to prove this. For example, I will put an SEO post on my site, The Moral Concept, and I hit up Barry, and I hit up Search Engine Land, and I hit up Matt, and I hit up all these people, and they retweet it, and they repost it. I hit up Moz, they retweet it, and they repost it, and then suddenly I have links coming from Search Engine Land and SE Roundtable and Moz blog that I didn't even ask for. They just go and do it, right? So you make them aware of it. You make people aware of it. Have the ability to link, and have the ability, and then people are social sharing it like crazy. And you can see it in Ahrefs, right? You just put it in the page, and you can see over a month the links grow and the social shares grow. So it does work. It is exceedingly hard only because the creative nugget usually isn't there for most people. The creative process is the most important part, and that's the part you have to get done first. After that, it's all gravy. Just creative, produce, amplify. Creative, produce, amplify. That's it.
That's all we're going to amplify the closing of this Hangout for today. Thank everyone for coming. Please go out and enjoy Halloween. Don't do crazy things, and don't steal your kids' candy if you're
doing crazy things.
or steal anybody else's candy, and make sure to brush your teeth. Anyways, have fun. Go out and enjoy the day. It's raining here in San Jose, actually, and I'm going to go outside because it hasn't rained in like 6 months. See ya.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you very much. If you have any questions,